At Seattle Credit Union, we believe in our communities and the people we serve. The path to U.S. citizenship can be expensive, which is why we offer citizenship loans to cover the costs associated with this process. We also offer a fee-based alternative for each citizen loan type for people who would prefer not to pay any interest. Visit seattlecu.com to learn more, or give us a call at 855-575-9352 to speak with a friendly loan expert to get started today. Seattle Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
All right, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3726. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Michael. Thank you. All right, the Men's Room. I'll tell you today it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: overrated breakfast foods and our favorite holidays. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shout of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack, drinking drunk. All right, here we go. A traffic camera in England strikes it rich, handing out $1 million in fines. Meanwhile, a man attempts to perform a self-nose job on himself using rubbing alcohol and a few lines. Florida woman punches corrections officer because she was bored and had nothing else to do. 100-year-old woman goes to the gym 5 days a week and she can do more push-ups than you. And a fight over a parking space leads to a 20-minute stare down. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, who doesn't love a sausage McMuffin and a ham croissant sandwich from McDonald's? In fact, 2 sausage McMuffins and 1 ham croissant sandwich, that'll cost you right around $3.67 plus tax. But one person will pay an additional $1,874 for that exact meal without even having the opportunity to actually eat it. You see, they tried to smuggle the meal in their suitcase into Australia from Indonesia. Now, that's a big no-no in Australia, which has very strict biological rules in place. The lesson here is, don't try to smuggle contraband on a plane. Weird things happen on planes. American Airlines, for example, they're under fire after they canceled a 10-year-old's connecting flight without telling her parents. And American Airlines was like, hey, relax, man. Calm down. Cool your jets. We lost a 12-year-old kid just a few weeks ago in Miami. Now, to be fair, Miami just might be the place to lose things. American Airlines loses kids, and a man named Brett Reeder, well, he loses fingers. He was on a fishing trip recently and caught himself a shark. But as he tried to free the hook from the fish's mouth, the shark got a hold of his pinky and tore it off. Ooh. There's actually a video of the ordeal, and the very last word you hear before the video ends, it's an F-bomb. Good times. These are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of a random question, and this is how it works. You call us we ask you a question, a complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show and a random question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
At Valentine Roofing, we love our customers, and our customers love the service they receive. That's probably why we've won several awards, including the Angie Super Service Award, Next Door Neighborhood Favorite Award, and the Howe's Best of Service Award. From roof cleaning, gutter installation, to roof replacement, our promise to excellent customer service begins with the very first phone call. This Valentine's Day, we want to return the love with a free material warranty upgrade and priority scheduling based on your schedule. Go to ValentineRoof.com and enter promo code LOVEMyRoof.
Fall is in the air. The kids are on the soccer field, and you're holding your coffee, thinking,
how is this only the first quarter?
Then you remember, you brought Cocoa Bomb chocolate whiskey from Heritage Distilling. Just a few drops in your cup, and there you go. You got this. Just 30 more less painful minutes. Cocoa Bomb chocolate whiskey, the soccer parents' little secret. Cocoa Bomb, 35% ABV, Gig Harbor, Washington.
Ring in the relaxation in 2023 with Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa facial services. Tailored to your individual skincare needs, their facials will give you radiant, healthy, glowing skin. Introductory pricing starting at $79.95. Restore, relax, and reset at any one of the 8 Seattle area Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations, or search for the location nearest you and book online. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hello, Michelle's way we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3726. What a large and a charged program we have for you today. A guaranteed future repeat. Once again, the exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today, we have our favorite holidays that we celebrate here in the United States of America. 10 favorite holidays.
All right.
I know what you're thinking. Columbus Day is a shoe-in. Maybe not on the list. And these are not the holidays like we have on a daily basis. What would you say today was National Favorite Superhero Day? Or
No, Miles. My God, it's insulting. It's single to one particular superhero today.
I didn't know that. Okay.
All right?
I just figured
just one. No, this is his day, and that would be Spider-Man, of course. Okay. I'm sure everyone woke up knowing, hey, isn't today National Spider-Man Day? Yeah, it is.
In all fairness to superheroes, it's not that the Superman TV show wasn't that good. It wasn't that good is the problem. When I was a kid, it was black and white, and it was horrible. Batman and Robin. Now, I enjoyed watching that show.
It wasn't good, but it was fun.
But Spider-Man had a cartoon.
He did.
And I look forward to that. And
he had a TV show for a while. You don't remember the live action, I want to say late 70s maybe?
I do not, but I do remember that, believe it or not, he was on the Electric Company.
He was.
So that was like a bit that they would do every once in a while, kind of like in an SNL way.
But he didn't speak. It was thought bubbles, which sucked as a kid because I like seeing Spider-Man, but man, I don't want to have to read.
Well, that's one thing I knew about Spider-Man growing up. He never said a word.
That's what Electric Company made me think that.
He did in comic books.
Sure.
Because you're just reading what he's thinking, but you don't realize. But it is a little bubble.
Yeah.
On Spider-Man. It's not a little, thing that comes down.
Just speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just talk, man.
So,
what do you got there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the live action
I do remember that.
Look at him jumping so boldly off that building.
Wow, I do remember this.
Oh, look at that fight scene.
And he's in an old Western town. Yeah. Jesus.
New York looked a lot different back then.
1, 2, 3, let's go. Okay, in the hay. Oh, my God. Oh, no, not with the awning. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch these stoned. Yeah, that is amazing. Spider-Man Strikes Back. I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Well, check that out today in honor of Spidey. So we've got your favorite holidays, and we have your 10 most overrated breakfast items that you see on the menu when you go out for breakfast in the morning.
Went out for breakfast yesterday morning, in fact.
Okay.
To Patty's Egg Nest. And it's one of those deals where there's like 800 different menu items. Ended up going to standard Belgian waffle, but got the side of biscuits and gravy. Quick side note, no such thing as a side.
No, there's
biscuits and gravy.
I got them twice
that is its own
over the
meal.
break. It's you just need one biscuit. You do not need 2 biscuits. You need
2 biscuits, lots of gravy. That's why I'm farting so much today.
2 eggs. They always throw in way too much.
Sure.
The biscuits are plenty. That's all you need.
I'm interested in this list because I can't think of a single overrated breakfast. Breakfast is one of my favorite meals of the day, man.
Me
if I
too.
get to go out for a breakfast,
I'll tell you what. I'll throw out the number one for you so you get an idea.
Okay.
Pancakes.
Avocado toast.
Oh, come on.
So it is more.
How do you see? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Why is this on the menu everywhere?
I was going to say that.
Why
jokingly.
is it on the menu everywhere? This is not that good. No one even does this at home.
I did.
Oh no, you wake up one morning.
It's not bad, man.
Okay,
what is it? Just toast with avocado on it?
All we did is you make a piece of toast and then you have an avocado and then you basically smear the avocado all over the toast, a little salt and pepper, maybe some the little cherry tomatoes, you cut them in half.
I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But why do people act like we have stumbled upon cold fusion? It's like,
I'll give you that.
You took an avocado and smashed it on a goddamn piece of bread.
It's a nice little refreshing way to start the day.
And you had buttered toast. You take butter and like the avocado, you smash it on the toast and you eat it and it's good.
Oh, let's see what else we got here on the Men's Room Happy Hour coming up exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you have not checked out the Men's Room Happy Hour, please do so. Download the app. It's absolutely free. Then from there, search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That channel only goes live at 6 o'clock Monday through Friday when we are here, by the way.
Yes.
Because we've had a lot of people say, what's going on with the app? The bottom line was we weren't here on Thursday and Friday. That's why we didn't get to your birthday request and all that stuff. Oh, joy, Steve had to go to a funeral.
Yay!
So we'll do props
By
for
the
the
way,
weekend.
You don't want to be a pallbearer when it's humid out. It's not, no.
Because you're afraid you're going to drop it because it's slippery on the hand?
Well, the funeral takes place indoors. And then, no, we don't get gloves as pallbearer. Funeral director has gloves. He looks like he's directing an orchestra.
Wow.
We just have our sweaty ass hands. But this is D.C., man. And it was actually hotter here in Seattle. But the humidity, I will say, my skin, supple, moist, beautiful.
Did your wife say what she always, what do women always say when they go to the East Coast or somewhere else where it's humid?
This was not about her hair. Normally it's about her hair.
No haircut.
This
my
time,
hair looks straight here.
She was like, my skin is doing so well. And I said, honest to God, babe, I was scratching my bald head this morning. I'm like, ooh, that's like a baby's bottom. I mean, this
humidity.
But the problem was, so you're a pallbearer and... No pun intended.
Was this a person of bigger carriage?
You're carrying dead weight. And I don't
was this a person of bigger carriage?
No.
That's a benefit.
But
that's a benefit.
The coffin weighs a freaking ton. You don't realize how much.
I know that, but could you imagine maybe the person weighs 270 pounds?
No, she does not.
Okay, good.
And but man, the six of us just had these little handles fold out of the side, and all of us for 1 second when we first kind of got it. You got to kind of load it onto this gurney style thing to get. So, and I mean, honest to God, you're holding the thing up for like 3 seconds.
Do you do a 1, 2, 3?
The funeral director kind of quietly guides you. Like, it's real choreographed.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, I thought you could do 1, 2, 3.
Get it. Right. So,
is there an audible grunt when everybody lifts up?
There wasn't a grunt, but you could feel everyone readjusting their grip because all of our hands were so goddamn sweaty. And all I could think is, man, the number one rule, do not drop this. If you do drop it, hope the door doesn't pop open. Like, it's not funny, Mike.
No, it's not.
This is a very, very dear friend of mine. Exceptionally dear friend, but still all I could think is, don't drop this goddamn thing.
I never considered the insurmountable fear of actually being at a funeral.
Well, then you got to do it again.
Or tripping. You could trip.
Anything.
The person behind you could actually get caught up in your legs with a longer stride, get you on the heel.
You don't have to walk it much. Basically, so this is what I found out, right? This is how it worked out. My mother hits me up a couple weeks ago and says, hey, would you be a pallbearer at this woman's wedding? And I'm like, well, because you asked me, yes. I can't say no, right? And so she goes, well, do you think your brother will do it if I ask? I go, again, if his mother says, will you be a pallbearer to family friend? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we did it, and I'm kind of I was the youngest person as a pallbearer. I just want to point that out,
right.
too. So I'm like, this is kind of on me. It's kind of on me. But the good news is you don't really, carry it. Like in the old days, they used to carry them downstairs and stuff. Mm. I don't know. Like, the way the funeral went, man, the casket is up front. And obviously, you do the thing. It goes on for like an hour and a half.
And is the casket open?
It was when you get there for your final viewing, and then they close it. Jesus Christ. They close it before they kind of start the service. Yes. The problem was, you would think to be kind of subtle. When that thing closed, it was like, boom, game over. Game is officially over now.
No. You've lost your extra man.
I feel like it slipped out, but it was just like, oh my God, man.
You got 3, you got 1 extra, now that's done.
Yeah, like you seriously slammed this thing shut, like, she gone.
No,
she ain't never coming back. No, what's weird is they do the funeral, the casket, spend a little time. At the end of it, you get up and you walk outside. By the time we got outside, it was already there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now let me ask you this. So you go to the cemetery.
Yeah,
and they have the hole dug.
I don't know because every other funeral I've been to, that is the case. This was, keep in mind, this woman died in mid-April.
Was this a drawer?
No. So the woman died in mid-April. Everyone has had time to grieve. That's why the funeral it was still distressing, but not as bad if you had just lost her, okay? But her husband worked at the Pentagon. He was a bigwig. He got buried at Quantico. She wanted to be buried next to her husband, Quantico. And this is so weird. You're asking to put someone in the ground. And they go, well, that's great. It's Quantico. It's an honor. There's a waiting list. Right? So she died mid-April. The funeral was Friday, the 29th of July.
My goodness.
So the open casket thing, not sounding sensitive, you kind of check the work because she's been gone for a while. And they did as good of a job as you could hope until they slammed the thing shut. But when you get to Quantico, just two things about Quantico. You go in, it looks a lot like Arlington Cemetery. So all the headstones are exactly the same, and they're laid out in a very organized pattern. They do it by sections. So when you pull into section 1, and I don't know what the significance or importance is of each section, or if it's just if they have room. But at one point as we're driving up there, I saw section 8. Makes me just think of housing. So I did say to the funeral director, bro, don't put her ass to section 8. That's just like an insult. But the way they do it there is kind of like this big honorary wall that has all of the seals of, the Navy, the Army, all this kind of stuff. Big granite thing. And you just kind of roll the casket up front. And then as pallbearers, you stand up to the side. So it's weird because everyone's kind of staring at you as much as they're staring at the casket. And like, I don't want you to stare at me, man.
Here's what I wanted.
But then you leave. But
how do you lower the damn thing down there?
What do you mean?
The casket. So think about where the handles are. It's 6-7 feet.
Oh, no, they got a machine for that.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I was going to say, who does that?
Otherwise, 1, 2, 3.
It's basically a slow lowering memechanism that they have there. My question is I know you to be a very tall man. How was the height differential between all you?
Obvious.
Really?
Like, was there a lean on that thing?
2 miles.
Did you have to scoop?
My legs are long enough that I'm kicking the back of the feet of the guy in front of me.
No.
Yeah, so I had to kind of slow down. And I don't want to sound like a cynic, but they do this big ceremony because, again, it's Quantico, but you're not at the gravesite. You are at whatever their ceremonial wall is. And they say, thus concludes blah, blah, blah. And they're kind of like, we'll take care of the rest. And I'm just looking like, are you? I mean, really?
They had,
are you really going? Because we leave, it's just sitting there, man.
Or my grandfather is buried right now. He's in the ground, right? So he's in the ground, the cemetery. Now, the cemetery has been there for a long time. At one point in time, they had a barn style. Is it a mausoleum above ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But they kind of the caskets were hung on the sides of the walls instead of a drawer system, and some were down on the floor, but they weren't on the floor. They were actually suspended. You know what I mean? On tables around the perimeter. And some of the caskets were in the middle of this giant room, Anyway, same area of Kentucky that just got hit, right? So in the flood of 78, when that flood hit, it washed all the caskets down the valley, and they only found like half of them. So and some of them, the bodies weren't in there. Some were fully intact. It was hard lid closed.
Yeah.
Nothing escaped.
What do you mean, like caskets open?
The Swift River busted the things open. And people were just, it's bad enough you think, like, you see a body floating down the river, you think, oh my God, my neighbor's dead.
So they've been dead for 15 years.
He's been dead forever. Don't worry about this guy.
Here's the mausoleum of
trying to save this guy, giving a guy CPR. He's been dead for like 25 years.
You punch in his chest.
Wonder why he's wearing makeup.
That happens all the time in New Orleans, man. So they can't bury underground because it's already below sea level. So they have all these above ground mausoleums, and that's every cemetery there. So I was there through one particular flood that they had, and that's the thing you heard on the news. But I guess it's so common that the way they do it, 8 inches of rain in New Orleans overnight. Be careful out there, water's flowing. Oh yeah, on the St. Charles Mausoleum, wants you to keep an eye out for 15 caskets that they've accounted for. I'm like, what?
Like, do they rebuild everything and then bring everybody back, or
that's what they say?
Okay,
yeah. I mean, you got to go.
Or is there new real estate open now?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know that. By the way, somebody here says, I opted out of being a pallbearer at my grandfather's funeral out of fear of dropping him. It's in Vegas. He's on the S-cart the whole time. Pisses me off. Look, I was scared about dropping him too, but I'm like, I got to do it. Someone else says, Thrill, I was a pallbearer for my aunt's funeral. We had to carry that thing probably 50 yards in the mud and rain. You better believe my ass didn't want to drop my aunt by slipping. Good thing I was the strongest guy there, but man, that was nerve-wracking. So you actually had to carry that bad boy.
Yeah.
I bet right now my grandfather's underwater. I'm just looking at the floodwater now. I just thought of that. This is right on the river.
Is he buried close to where
he's right there? Yes. He's right on the river.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Damn, that was a nice suit. All right, anyway.
Wait, did you get your watch back?
Yeah.
If not, is it waterproof?
I just go downstream, try to find that bad boy.
I know it sounds bad, but
I know, really.
goddamn.
Okay.
It's reality, man.
Good times. All right.
We put the fun in funeral.
So we'll do props of the weekend coming up with a men's room app here. All right. In the meantime, it is our random question. 206-421-RUN.
Random.
Hello, Catherine. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Catherine, welcome to the program. Random question.
Actually, before we get to that, we're pretty much going to ask everyone this, all right? We were just talking about this outside. You have a computer mouse, correct? And then you...
Sure.
Okay, well, in our studio...
have two computer... Is it mice or mouses when you're talking about computers?
So the computer that Mike runs over there has two mice, or two mouse.
Two mouses. Two mouses, or two mice?
Or mice.
What do you say, Mike?
I would. I'd go mice.
We asked
Mice?
our IT guy. Our IT guy said,
Chad
I
doesn't
don't know the answer to that question. So we're just taking a general survey.
It's IT, not English.
So you say mice?
Mice. I'll go mice.
I was going to say mouses. I don't know. It's just
Mouses.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Or keep it singular. It's two mouse.
There you go.
Okay. Here's an interesting question, but I think you can answer it. What would you like, and maybe it's after you passed on, since we're talking about people passing on, what would you like to have named after you?
Ooh.
Something named after you, because this can be good, this can be bad. Lou Gehrig, not good.
Right.
Lord Sandwich, good.
Amber Alert, bad.
John Crapper, not good. Toilet?
Well, it's kind of an honor.
Well, I mean, if you want to be named after a toilet.
No, it's not that. He has a lot to do with the toilet. The problem is that we still call it crap. That's where we did him dirty.
Okay.
I took a hill. Like, I'd be like, no, dude. That's
so, people have different things named after them. You look at Benaroya, that's a family in town.
Sure,
right?
sure.
I mean, all these different, the Nordstroms are a family in town.
Sure.
I'm sure the Reuben sandwich named after some cat named Reuben.
I believe it is. I actually believe it is, yeah.
Really?
So, what would you like to have named after you?
I think the more appropriate answer and at least more likely is a dog park. I have 5 dogs, so that just seems to make sense for me. But the creative answer as a big Star Trek fan would be a spacecraft.
That's awesome.
Nice. Take the spacecraft, man. Take the spacecraft.
Well, there was a time where you could buy a star, right?
I mean, we'll give you a dog park because dogs go in there and poop. Well, but a spacecraft, man, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Lieutenant Uhura?
Yeah, I did. That's pretty sucky.
That is.
Yeah.
Well, she lived a wonderful life. She lived a long life.
Well, she was 89, so take some comfort.
All things considered, I mean.
Now, wait, what kind of spacecraft? Are we talking like the Webb telescope? Are we talking a space shuttle, a lunar lander, one of those Mars rovers?
Bezos' penis rocket?
Right.
Well, I mean, if we're going Austin Powers style penis rocket, that would definitely make the list. But if I'm already shooting as big as a spacecraft, I may as well go for the first warp capable craft. Let's say.
All right, I'll give you that. Might be a minute.
See, I'm going to go with a Star Wars ship. So I'm going to go with a fictional ship named after me, like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. More people would know it.
Right. Than actual stuff that we
the
travel
Miles
space
Falcon.
With. Yeah, something like that. It was a badass, had this, badass ship, and it's named after me. Like Boba Fett, weak ass ship. Cool looking character. His ship flew straight up and down. It was weird. Not a good
seemed
ship.
inconvenient. I think I would go for, you know what, man? It's kind of like Lou Gehrig's. If you have bad gas and you can't stop farting, I got a case of the thrills. I will take that. I will absolutely honor that. Because I'm a gassy dude.
I started looking into stuff like Casanova. That's named after a guy who, as you would guess,
getting around
was getting around a lot. So we get this email over the weekend. Says, thought you guys might be interested in the story about your old pal Traffic Jam Jimmy. Is it too early to get a fish sandwich? From your longest listener, One-Eye Greg in Reisterstown, Maryland. And here you go. From WBFF Baltimore, Fox 45, the section of 41st Street in North Baltimore, right in front of the Fox 45 studios, was renamed Traffic Jam Jimmy Way. In honor of the Baltimore broadcasting icon. He unexpectedly died in May. He was known to generations of television fans in Baltimore because of his role in the Captain Chesapeake show. And more recently, his persona as Traffic Jam Jimmy, guiding drivers through the morning commute. Behind the scenes, he would take on nearly every other role during his 48 years at the station. He always said to me, do you think they'll put a sign anywhere with my name on it? And I said, well, why would we ever do that? And now here we are, according to his wife, Marie, his widow. Jimmy's family and coworkers were there to cover as the cover of The Sign was taken off live on TV this morning. He's producing and directing this segment, I know, said Jimmy's wife. Studio itself was also dedicated honor to Jimmy. So
that's cool,
Very
man.
cool, yeah. More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
Winter is rapidly approaching, so prepare now. Your outdoor and crawl space pipes are susceptible to freezing temperatures, cracks, and bursts. That could leave you with thousands in repairs or irreparable damage. At Spartan Plumbing, our experts ask the right questions, giving honest and knowledgeable answers, and making sure we're recommending the right solution for your unique system before disaster strikes. Call Spartan for your consultation today, 253-306-0309, or visit SpartanPlumbingInc.com. Spartan Plumbing, repaired right the first time.
What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate. Then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 29 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
How resilient are you? The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society encourages you to expand your fitness potential through the Team in Training Resilience Challenge. Walk, swim, cycle, run, or lift. Your challenge is personal, but the funds you raise are life-changing. Together, we can push the boundaries of advancing new blood cancer treatments and the support LLS provides to patients and their families. Join the Resilience Challenge at lls.org/resilience. That's lls.org/resilience and push what's possible.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
BJ and Migs, they've teamed up with Mary's Place for Kicks to make sure the kids in need get a pair of brand new sneakers called their very own here as they go back to school. Each kid will get to choose their own brand and style. The goal, $20,000 to give the kids that are staying in the shelter the confidence they need to go to school and not be made fun of for the stadiums my mom bought me. $50 buys a pair of sneakers for a child and $100 for a teenager. There's 200 kids, by the way, in the shelter who need new shoes for school.
All right, we can get that done, man.
Head to KISW.com. Give what you can now, $5, $10. If you can give the whole 50, the whole 100, we'd really appreciate it. Kicks for kids. Kicked off this morning with BJ and Migs.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. It is our random question, 206-421-ROCK.
We got a couple of comments here. We were talking about being a pallbearer earlier. I like that. We're talking about just if you are a pallbearer, like on some level, all you can think is don't drop the casket. Don't drop the casket.
Yeah.
Someone here says, I helped carry my grandfather's casket down the church steps. It had steep steps, and the casket was at a steep angle. We put his favorite stuff in the casket for him. It was super noisy because everything fell to the bottom of the casket on the way.
Oh, no.
So everything shifted and smashed.
Sure, like his head just boom.
And that's the problem with a funeral is that there's a zero tolerance on anything that could possibly be humorous.
Right. But deep down,
I've cracked up a couple times at a funeral.
Well, sure you have.
Yeah, just because, it's sometimes so heavy, it's like, oh my God.
And then as far as something you'd want named after you, that's what you asked. The woman originally called in. Somebody here says, let's see, a weed strain. That's pretty cool. I'll dig that. What would I like named after me? A sex position.
Oh, that's not bad.
It depends what the sex position is.
Sure.
It really does.
Just don't want to end up on Dirty Big Dummy with your sex position.
Right. Someone else said it'd be pretty effing sweet to have a stadium named after you. Hell yeah,
yes.
man. I'd want to be named after a brand of condoms because sometimes I'm reliable. And then someone else said, I want a McDonald's sandwich named after me, kind of like the McDLT.
The McDLT. Well, they got meals named after performers who go in and do their thing.
Yeah, but performers don't count.
That's a limited time. And plus, if you're a stadium, you're going to get a sponsorship. Mm-hmm. So it could be brought to you by Tampax.
Yeah.
So, T-Mobile Park, all these stadiums across the country have names attached to them with corporate sponsors.
Sure.
So you're going to get a corporate sponsor attached to Heinz Field is something else now. I'm not even sure what the product is.
I forget what it was.
Could not tell you. And no one's going to call it that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Random.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola. Chris, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, we're talking a lot, it seems we didn't mean to, but about the afterlife here. So let's go with this one. When you die, do you have any special requests for what happens at the funeral or the burial or anything like that?
Actually, yeah, I've thought about this one before.
Well, it's something to think about. Do you want to have a party? Do you want to have a barbecue? Do you want it to be a sad thing? Do you want to be cremated?
Do you want to have the viewing? Do you want to be buried? I mean, there's all these things that go into it.
Do you want to DJ? Do you want to play really inappropriate music?
I'm the man in the box.
Yeah, exactly. Big D energy, from Blado.
I play I'm Alive, but it doesn't play from inside the car.
Big balls from AC/DC, all these things that are just like, what is he playing? Is there anything I think it'd be fun to make people laugh.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Ireland who had that whole tape recording of himself like, hey, let me out.
Right.
Let me out. Where am I? It's so dark. That they played when they were being lowered in. So, do you have any special requests for the funeral?
Well, I've never been a big fan of flowers. I never understood the point of them. Like, you buy them, they're there for a week, they're dead. That's stupid. Flowers are stupid and expensive. But my thing, and I thought about this a long time ago when I was a kid, you know those, like, gourmet lollipops that you see, like, sticking out at, like, random stores that are, like, $1 for lollipops?
Sure.
The big swirly ones.
Yeah, Lollapaloozas. You want to do what now?
All the, like, those big gourmet lollipops.
Yeah.
So do that in place of flowers?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, kids would eat
It would be different.
As an adult, we know they taste like ass.
I had an idea at one point in time, since I'm going to be cremated, that take some of those ashes and spread them in a joint.
There you go.
A big old blunt, and everybody just take a big old hit of them and just sit back and chill out. You know?
The one thing I want to do apparently is illegal. I cannot guarantee it's illegal, but everyone tells me it's probably illegal. I want it to be stuffed. And then, well, no, wait. Not like forever, but just like for the purposes of the funeral. Because in the end, I just want to be cremated or whatever the hell. But, like, I'm stuffed. And right, I'm giving a thumbs up or whatever
Taking
I'm
a
doing.
shot.
But it's during the funeral, but I'm facing out toward the crowd. or I want to be stuffed and have me seated in one of the pews, like with my face in my hands, because I'm really sad that I'm dead. You know what I mean? Facing.
Or, like, if you have a very noticeable tattoo, the people know, right?
Yeah.
Get that made into a wallet and then give it to somebody.
Lord. It's real skin.
Exactly. Hey, what in the hell's this?
We're doing a raffle.
The reason we asked when you died, special request.
28.
Any request for your funeral? Before her death, 99-year-old Katerina Perez had one final wish. A giant statue of a huge penis on top of her grave. Her family unveiled the completed monument, a 5.5-foot tall shaft in berries weighing nearly 600 pounds, mounted on her tomb at a cemetery in Mexico this past weekend as a recognition of her love and joy for life. She wanted
of life. That's what you think she had a great joy of.
She said she wanted to break the paradigm of everything Mexican, where things are sometimes hidden because of not having an open mind. According to her grandson, she was always very avant-garde, very forward-thinking about things. Donacata, as she was lovingly known throughout the small town in the eastern state of Veracruz, had a particular affinity for penises and what she believed they represented. Great-grandmother had grown up in poverty and not attended school as a child, but through her hard work and determination, she became an influential member of the town. Politicians almost always made it a point to visit and talk to her about decisions they made.
Really?
And court her with her ideas. The great-grandmother, also, she had clout and wielded that in the area. Over the years, she told family and people around the area that when she died, she wanted her tomb adorned with a giant penis. While it took a while to put the process in motion, Mota Lyman called a local engineer in town who builds plastic products like water tanks and children's play sets and asked if he was up to the task. After he told him several times that he was dead serious about the request, the man got to work. It took nearly a month and a team of 12 people, including a carpenter, a sander, a sculptor, and a carver, to build the 5.5-foot penis and balls. They got particularly delayed on the bottom part. When the first attempt was disfigured, they had to start the process over again, melting materials down and giving necessary amplitude so that the testicles could be formed. Because they messed up on that, but
they messed up the testicles.
They had a huge cloth draped over it in town. They had a ceremony.
But it's on top
if you see
of
the
her
video.
tomb. So it's not like it's coming out of the ground. It's on top of a fairly large tomb in the first place.
So now everybody visiting a loved one in that cemetery is going to be like, wait a second.
You can't not see
the town erupts in applause when they uncover the giant penis. Hercules!
I go one step further. Make that thing like the volcano at the Mirage in Vegas. 8, 9, and 10 p.m. We set off a little firework right outside.
Like a Roman candle.
Yeah, right. It's beaming up and out of that thing.
Like Grandma.
Good times.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hola.
Danny, welcome to the program and the random question. All right, let's see what we got for you here. Okay. Oh, man. All right. Okay. Danny, as far as where you live, how close do you live to the place that you grow up? Or what is the furthest you've lived from the place that you grew up?
Well, I grew up in Yelm, and right now I live in Rainier. So I live like 5 minutes away.
Okay.
And the furthest I lived was Tacoma, and I went to kindergarten there, and I was pretty much like in the hood for like 3 years, and it was really dangerous. So my mom moved us back to Yelm.
Really, the hood was dangerous. I always thought the hood referred to a gated community, birds singing.
My friends all were like, you lived in the hood. That's where you lived. I was like, I don't know. I was 5. I don't remember.
There's a couple of universal tells in the world of, hey, maybe that's not the apartment complex I want to live in.
Well, on the East Coast, if it ends with Heights, you do.
Heights is no.
Not guaranteed, man.
Terrace.
Terrace,
I know there's Mountain Lake Terrace here, but trust me, when it's terrace anywhere else, you don't want to be in that apartment community more than like...
Or anything that ends with view.
Yeah.
Right? Anything that sounds really pleasant for an elderly person is the last place you want to live.
Right.
It was pretty bad. It was dangerous, she said.
Okay. So what is Rainier like? I've never been to Rainier. I know nothing about Rainier.
It's little. Like, you blink, you miss it. You just drive right through. There's just 2 little stores and 3 schools, and that's pretty much it.
What are the stores? I'm curious.
There's a Chevron and a Shell.
Okay, what about a bar? You got a bar? I'm sure Ted would know if he was here.
No bar. I go to Yelm for the bar or Olympia.
All right.
And we're getting a Dollar General, so that's kind of cool.
So you're south of DuPont on I-5, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I never go down that way, but I've been to Lacey, I guess.
Have you ever wanted to move away? Have you thought about, like, man, I'm going to move, I don't know, and give a destination?
I used to. I grew up loving Seattle. I still love Seattle. I've always wanted to live there. But once I had kids, I was like, nope, I actually really like having a little small town. I don't like all the people, all the homeless, even Lacey. That's where I work. And it's just full of homeless people and crazy people everywhere.
Look, I live in Fremont, and when my kids were growing up, they went to school pretty close, BF Day school, which is not too far. And they went to Loyal Heights for a while. But either way, you had to go a long way to find another kid to play with. Within a 4-block, 5-block area, there were no children in that area for sure.
Yeah, you live in a very child-free area.
Yeah, which is, good with language and stuff. For the most part, it's not. Raise Mass, how close do you live to the place you grew up, or the farthest you lived from the place you grew up? A new study by the Census Bureau, and I think Danny backs this up, and Harvard University researchers suggest that millennials are not straying far away from home in adulthood at all. By age 26, more than 2/3 of young adults in the U.S. lived in the same area where they grew up. 80% had moved less than 100 miles away. 90% resided less than 500 miles away per the AP. There are a lot of people out there who do go and explore and go to different places, but then end up coming right back home. They say migration distances were shorter for Black and Hispanic individuals compared to white and Asian young adults, and the children of higher income parents traveled farther away from their hometowns than those of less wealthy parents. For many individuals, the radius of economic opportunity is quite narrow. According to the report, young adulthood is a period in life when migration is highest in the U.S. So they basically said, if you are going to move, it's when you're a young adult. Study looked at the likelihood of people born primarily between 1984 and 1992 moving away from the commuting zone that they grew up in. And it turns out that the most common destinations for young people were concentrated near where they grew up. So just so you know, people are not they're not straying too far.
All I wanted to do, and it's nothing against my parents, both of my parents were the black sheep of their families, which I did not know because your parents are just your parents to you, right? But both of them moved way far away from home. So I always thought that's what you were supposed to do.
You're supposed to go check out
a sign of your success. It's like, look, you graduated from high school or whatever, and then move away. And then I moved 3,000 miles away to Seattle. And then I had kids, and guess what my parents did? They moved 3,000 goddamn miles, and now they live in West Seattle.
Also, I had short attention span theater back in the day. So even if I kept the same job, I might move from one apartment after 2 or 3 years and the lease runs out.
Sure.
Just to go to a different area of town.
Yeah.
Just see what's over there, or check out a different, place than where I lived for a couple years and rented.
And I want my kids to move away and enjoy life. I think my daughter will. My son, we are convinced he might just live in our basement. He won't even let us know he's living there. He's just such a homebody. I get the feeling he's never, ever going. And the only way he'll move away is if we move away, and then somehow he'll be like in a packing box.
I gotta laugh like your dad said when you said you're never going to drink beer. Like, ha 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 ha.
Dude, I hope you're right. I hope that you are right.
Here's why. Once he finds out his special purpose.
Right.
He's going to want to he's going to want a place of his own.
He's getting close.
Getting close. I really say no, he's not. I mean, like when he's
yes, he is. He's getting some indications. We'll be watching certain things on TV, and I just see where his eyes light up, and I'm like, your eyes lit up, or my eyes lit up. Cleavage. So yeah, I understand the trajectory that he is headed.
Yeah.
Random.
Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Tequila and tacos, boys.
Hola! Wes, welcome to the show. And the random question. Let's see here. Okay, how about this one? What is the closest you'd say you've come to losing a body part or horribly injuring yourself?
Oh God. Well, there's been multiple times, but I guess the most memorable was, I know the story you're going with because I saw the video too. But no, I was working. I was just a teenager. And my dad was like, oh, no, go ahead and climb up that ladder and chop, take the chainsaw with you, chop some, trees down, some widowmakers, which is, dead tree limbs.
Yeah.
And so I go climbing up there, and I'm like, hold the ladder. He's like, you're fine. I'm like, no, hold the ladder. He's like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. So I'm like 15, and I climb up there and start the chainsaw, start chopping down tree limbs, and they're falling, and I go to chop like maybe one of the last ones, and it hits the ladder, and I toss the chainsaw. I was already planning for it. I was already like, yo, I'm tossing this chainsaw. I don't care if it keeps going. It can hit him because he ain't holding the ladder, and he's being kind of a D.
Right.
God rest his soul, but I was like, I'm going to toss this chainsaw, and I came off that thing at about 10, 12 feet, and I tossed that chainsaw, smacked my head right on the concrete, woke up not knowing who I was. I thought, I think this was like 1994, and I thought that Ronald Reagan was still the president when they asked me, and I thought it was 1972, because they ask you concussion protocols, and I'm like, yo, like, I really thought I was going to lose a limb.
Yeah, it's bad history, too. It was Nixon.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Miles, for the history.
If you're going 72, we're just saying, it'd be really amazing if you thought it was Reagan.
Reagan's about 83, 84.
Yeah, he was there then.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was like 1980 to 1988. So
I do remember just the strange chainsaw phenomenon of parents back in the day. If you were 10, 12 years old and you needed to start cutting up cords of wood or whatever the deal was after you
they'd send you outside to do it.
But they would just hand you like a chainsaw, and the chainsaw
or they give you like an axe.
But the chainsaw had been sitting in the garage all winter long. Right? They didn't look at the chain. They didn't tighten the chain.
Nope.
They didn't oil the chain. They didn't put oil in there because most of the time it was a two-stroke. So, they didn't mix the gas. Nothing. They didn't do anything. Like, here, kid, kill yourself.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, and they never sharpened it. And they never said, like, oh, this is proper chainsaw etiquette. Wear gloves and put some glasses on. No, it was just like, here's the chainsaw.
Go cut wood.
Right.
No, you're exactly right.
Then here, after that, put it in the wood splitter. Or take this axe and bang it into a tree stump until it splits. All right.
Yeah, feed the wood chipper when you're done, man.
Reason me asked, what's the closest you've come to losing a body part? This is a doozy. A man had his pinky ripped off by a shark as he tried to free a hook from the predator over the side of the boat. The terrifying incident off the coast of Florida in July captured on camera, including a young boy watching the horror unfold. Brett Reeder, he was fishing on an expedition with his family a few miles south of Miami when he caught a shark while on a small boat. In the video that went viral on social media, he leans over the craft and seems to tussle with a big fish while trying to undo a hook stuck in the fin. Now, a child, probably his son, is in the foreground watching while dangling his leg in the water, which I would never do, since there's probably chum out there, asking the animal not to bite our boat. The shark suddenly appears agitated and moves away slightly from Red before turning back and snapping onto his hand. It then thrashes and twists around a few times with blood clearly seen all around the underside of its jaw. Yep. Red manages to pull his hand away before he can hurt Shed. Damn it, F it, Mark, G-D, Pinky F, before the filming stops. Despite the ordeal, Brett appears relatively calm considering what had just happened. Fisherman's wife, Mandy, shared the clip on her TikTok account. She was reportedly on the boat with the family and left a comment underneath the post saying, "So glad my mom and I were there to help with a quick medical attention," and how Mandy stayed so calm for the kids. In the follow-up video, Brett said he was airlifted to a hospital, but not before he had to drive the boat 25 minutes back to shore by himself. He added about the unfortunate incident. "I tried to get a hold of him and get my hook back and got unlucky when he spun around and caught the top of my hand." Just so you know, survey says Pinky responsible for 50% of the grip of your hand.
You would think that's the finger to lose.
You would want to lose.
Right, but 50% of your grip strength disappears.
It's one of the most important fingers. I didn't even know that until I read that last
I bet you the shark knew.
Yeah, I probably did. Use your grip, bitch. More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
New year, new goals. And if you're looking for easy ways to achieve your health goals, try Chicken of the Sea's wild-caught Alaskan salmon. You'll get delicious lean protein, omega-3s, and vitamin D every time you add it to your salads, sandwiches, rice bowls, and more. When you eat healthy, you can live life to the fullest. That's what wild-caught happiness is all about. Visit chickenofthesea.com for more info.
You liked working in an office as an administrative assistant, but you hated going to the office. Now, here's the perfect job for you with Benning Construction. They are looking to hire an administrative assistant to work from home, answering phones, handling emails, processing expenses, and scheduling clients. The requirements for this job is computer literacy, good communication, and organization skills. This is a part-time job. For questions or to apply, text 404-301-9734. Benning Construction is an equal opportunity employer.
What's up? I'm Josh Gwynn, and I'm here to spread the good news that Back Issue is back with a brand new season. We're revisiting pop culture moments we still think about, and this time we're getting into our Season 3 era. If you know, then you absolutely know, and if you don't, that's what I'm here for. We're getting into our Degrassi era, our Silk Press era, our award speech era, and more. We have so many eras to get into, so pack your bags and stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. Starting February 21st, you can listen to Back Issue, a production of Pineapple Street Studios. Listen on Odyssey, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.